quick introduction about like what types of tie-dye we were going to learn about, and we looked at a bunch of pictures and samples, and we learned some other types that we aren't doing. So we learned about like making a traditional spiral, we learned about the shibori dye that we did today, and the natural dyes that we also did today. But then we looked at things like doing a bleach dye, where you add bleach instead of dye to take the color away, and then you can do a reverse dye, which then adds color back in. And we also looked at a technique called an ice melt, which is kind of cool, where instead of using water, they melt ice over the fabric to create the patterns. So that's actually an alcohol ink dye, so that they used Sharpie marker, and then because Sharpie is an alcohol-based marker, you can add rubbing alcohol on top and it makes the color spread to give kind of that tie-dye effect. So that's what we were experimenting with. We had bottles with a bunch of different colored dyes, and we learned how to make a spiral. Some of them chose to do a spiral, and some of them chose to just kind of experiment with different types of folding. We spent like about 10-15 minutes just learning different fold techniques, so then they chose something they wanted to do, and we spent about like 20 minutes just adding different colors and seeing how they all blended together, and we had to let them sit overnight for the colors to set, and then that's what they did today is they rinsed out the extra and did the reveal. Yeah. We're going to take two of the dyes that they made two, they're going to choose two of the fabrics that they've dyed, and we're actually going to turn them into a pillow. So we're going to put them together, they're going to use pins to fasten them, and then they're going to learn some simple stitches so they can sew around the edge. We're going to add fluff inside to make them nice and fluffy, and then they'll get a pillow with their own artwork that they get to take home and use. You get to exercise some of those creative things while meeting up with their peers again that they might not get to see, and they're getting to meet kids from other schools. We have a big Lancaster crew with this group, but like we've got some kids from Barron and North Salem too, so they're all getting to meet each other in an environment that they might not usually get to have.